I'm Ann Birchard. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and today we're going to make this really cute, fun birthday card. I'm going to be using the window sheet. A little added element of elegance. Set this aside. I'm going to be using the Quite Curvy and the matching dies for it, using the birds and the wishing you the happiest of birthdays. So let's make a card. Put all of this aside. Oh, and the matching envelope. Gotta have that. I'm going to start off with my Cut and Emboss. I have shimmer white. I cut it at 5.5. I scored it at 4 1/4, where you can just fold it in half. And I'm going to open it back up and place my die someplace. I have a die. What happened to my die? Oh, hiding. Found it. So I'm going to use this laced curvy die, and I'm going to place it close to the top and use washi tape. I think maybe a little bit more up. There we go. I'm going to use washi tape to make sure it stays in place. Now, this is very Ann-proof. The machine tells you which sandwich you need. And for this, you need platform 1, 2, 3, your project and the die, and then another 3 on top. Now, with this, before I run it through, with this die, you want the lace on the side of the project that you want to keep. If you turn it around facing this way, it's going to be on the waist. You don't want that. You want it on the project that you want to stay. So I'll have it facing the fold. Put that in and crank it. Ka-chunk. And that's normal, and it's okay. Nothing was harmed. And the reveal. Slowly take off. Okay, I'm just going to set that down. Take the die off. And I will come back and clean out all the itty pieces. Now with this piece, I'm going to rotate it because I want the lace end facing the bottom of the card. And I think that's about good. I have enough for my sentiment to go in between. Again, use the washi tape to hold it down. Run it through. This centerpiece, save, because this is what we're going to use to stamp our birds on. Let me clean up a bit. All right, and save this piece. This is the bottom of it. Set that aside. We are done with that die. Move this over. I'm going to bring my Take Your Pick tool with the brush end, and thankfully all those little pieces fell out. This one not so much. I just scrape over it and all the little pieces fall out, which is nice. Now if you have one that's stubborn, take your pick on the other end, push it out. Nice and simple. And a couple left on the back. Get rid of those. If you haven't already done so, text Ann Birchard, all one word, all caps, to the number 228 628, and you'll receive my monthly newsletter with tips, tricks, and techniques, and any sales that Stampin' Up! May have going on. There we go. Nice mess. So what's crafting without a mess? And those are going to be like that. Let's go ahead and stamp. I'm going to be using Memento ink. Now place your birds on the centerpiece that we've cut out. This is kind of like a no-waste project. So you know that your birds are going to fit and there's enough space to place the dies. Go ahead, pick those up. Again, I'm going to be using Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Give them a good inking here. And then stamp. Give it some good love. Now remember, with your polymer stamp sets, you want a rubber mat, and I have a rubber mat underneath, and that will help with the impression. I'll wipe these off with my chamois. Set that aside. And now I'm going to come in and color my little birds. And I am using light and dark Seaside Spray. And I'm going to color in his wings and head and a little bit of the tail. Come in with the dark and go underneath the wing, a little by the tail. It just adds a little bit of a dimension to our little bird. And then I'm going to be using light crumb cake, fill in his body. This kind of coloring is so easy. And the last step, I'm going to come in with dark petal pink, and I'm going to give him a little belly. Bring this closer. Isn't that cute? And that was so easy to do. So let's bring in the die set for this. And what did I do with the die set? Boy, I do not have my act together, do I? All right. Again, washi tape. Line it up. I like using the washi tape so it doesn't move when I run it through the Cut and Emboss. There we go. Put that aside. Set those aside. And I'm going to bring in the Cut and Emboss machine. Okay, sandwich is already set up. Crank it through. And we're done with this. Bring in our little birds. 1, 2, and 3. Don't need that anymore. We'll just let them hang out up here, dry a little bit. And now I'm going to bring in Stamparatus, because we are going to stamp on the window sheet. Now I cut the window sheet at 5.5 by 4 1/4, but I'm going to bring in my trimmer And I'm going to just take a little tiny sliver off this 5.5 inch, because when you fold over the card, this will allow it to fold nicely. And it won't be sticking out the bottom. Okay. So now I'm going to bring in the top portion, line up, and I'm going to stick this in the Stamparatus down here in the corner. Now my sentiment's already there. I'm going to line up, make sure it's okay. You can even bring in the bottom, again, to make sure it is centered and it's where you want it. And then that's where I want it. So now I can take those pieces out, and I am going to tape this down like crazy, because the polymer stamp will stick to this window sheet. And if you need to restamp it, you don't want this moving at all. The magnet's going to help, but this is your insurance. Okay, that's not coming up. Let's just add some more. There we go. Okay, again, use your stamp case underneath the door. And I'm going to use Stays On Jet Black to make sure that the sentiment doesn't smear. Okay, and close, little press. And slowly lift off. Ha, score, it looks good. Take off all the washi. And I'm going to hit this with my heat gun. Where did I get it? Just to set it. And when you are using the heat tool on vellum or this window sheet, you want to hit from the front and the back. So reduce the warping. Aside. We are ready to start assembling our card. Bring in the card base. I'm going to be using Stampin' Seal on the top flap. Take the lid off because that makes it more efficient. And the Stampin' Seal won't show through. Line up my window sheet with the bottom and sides, because remember we took off a little bit. Fold this over and give it a good smush, and then add some Stampin' Seal on the back. There we go. And now I'm going to line this up with the bottom and the side edges, covering that up. Nope, nope, not yet, not yet. Not ready. Not ready. Okay, phew. All right, now we're good. Okay, yes, I've got marks there. We are gonna fix that easily. Get the Mono Tombow eraser. It's kind of like a sandpaper-ish. I'll have a link for this as well. And this just helps take away your mess. But you know what? We're going to be putting bling on here so we can hide that as well. All right. finish decorating, I'm going to use the mini glue dots, and I've just tied a piece of twine, you can use ribbon, just so I know where the end is, and it keeps the release paper on top and they won't dry out. Okay, take the project to the glue dot, pick it up, add him right there. Get this little guy. Add him down here. And last one. That'll work. We're not done. We need to add some bling. Let's go for pearls this time. I haven't used pearls in a while. Again, using your take your pick, I'm going to flip it over to the spatula end. Remember threes. Put one here. And then a couple down here to hide. There we go. For the inside, I'm using the 2019 to 2021, so hurry up and buy this, Designer Series paper. And this is in the soft, it matches, what's it called? Seaside Spray. Using the Stampin' Seal. Put this in the middle, and you want an even border around all the sides. Sorry, I cut this at 5 1/4 by 4. Oh, isn't that cute? Let's decorate the envelope and then we're done. Got the bird, another block. Again, use the memento. And down here in the corner. You could color it in with the blends, but it will bleed through. And if that doesn't bother you, go for it. If it does, use the markers and you can get the same effect. Well, there you have it. A cute little card wishing you the happiest of birthdays. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And I hope you enjoyed this crafting experience with the civil engineer. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you next week. Bye.